So on a scale of 1 to 10, how well are you at receiving love? Hey guys, welcome back. It is week 2 in the month of love, also known as March. And we are talking about being able to receive love because you can't give what you don't have. And this is important because we're talking about character development. So in week 1, I gave you a list of definitions about love. And if you haven't seen that, I encourage you to take a look because we're talking about love as a character trait and we're talking about love as a choice. And this week, in giving and receiving, we are talking about allowing ourselves to receive love. So there's this cliche that we say it's better to give than to receive. And for many of us, we kind of hover in the giving side of the giving and receiving because it can be a way to kind of hide or mask the fact that we are not good receivers. So if let's take a look at like acts of service, for example. So if somebody wants to buy you dinner or give you a ride to the airport or help you around the house or help you out in the yard and be of assistance with the plumbing or the gardening or the maintenance on the house, or maybe they want to bring a meal when you're sick, how often do you say to those people, "Oh, no, it's okay, I've got it, I'm good"? And we say, "No, I'm really independent, I can take care of myself." And we say it in a way that, well, I don't want to put you out. I don't want to make you go through that. I don't want to do that to that person, make them get up early or make them come over and help me around the house. But when we are not good receivers, then we are also not good givers, because receiving is a way of acknowledging the other person in the relationship. It's actually caring for the other person to allow them to give to us and to receive what they have to offer. And if we're not good receivers, if we can take that cliche, giving, it's better to give than to receive. If we are not good receivers, can be a suggestion of arrogance, right? Because it says that I am above receiving, or that it feels shameful to receive, or it's a sign of weakness to receive, or it can be seen as a sign of that we are less than, or that we are less fortunate, or that we are needy. Sometimes it's not politically correct to receive, and there's a sign of arrogance that it's saying, well, I have whatever, and I want to give, and we can hide behind the fact that we just don't want to receive. And so we like to be one up, right? So when we give to other people, it's a feeling of being one up. And when we receive, sometimes it feels like we are one down, and that just doesn't feel comfortable. But like I said a minute ago, we can't give what we don't have. And if we're not good receivers, then we're not good givers. So what does that mean exactly? So sometimes we have this story in our head, or we have the tape recorder in our head that tells us a version of ourselves that oftentimes is not very positive. Oftentimes we tell a story that, so if we're sitting in a room full of our peers, maybe we feel like we can't keep up with those peers, or that we don't have a job that is as glamorous or is as important as the other people. Or maybe we are in a position of less economic, other people have more money than we do, or a nicer house or a nicer car, or better kids or whatever. And we just have this sense of just not being good enough, or just not being smart enough or pretty enough or whatever. And we don't go around saying this with our head. We're like, oh yeah, I'm good, I'm keeping up. But it comes out when people try to pay us a compliment and we don't take that compliment in. We brush it off like, oh, please, this outfit, I put it together in 10 minutes, or I just rushed around and I'm not really, all that, or it didn't take me, we kind of blow it off when we don't receive the compliment. Or when people try to do things for us, oh, no, let me buy you dinner. Or okay, you can buy dinner, but next week I'm going to buy dinner. And we try to make sure that everything is equal all the time. And so that's how, so like when this shows up, that's an indication that we are having trouble receiving. And it's that we don't go around saying this, and we might not consciously think of it, but it's this deep sense of shame, like we don't deserve it. We don't deserve it if somebody wants to take us to the airport, or if somebody wants to bring us dinner when we're sick, or help us out for whatever. But when we feel that we don't deserve it, when there's this sense of like ickiness inside of us, like if somebody's trying to buy us dinner or do something nice for us, or they pay us a compliment, if you have a feeling of like ickiness when that happens, that is a sense that we don't deserve it. So then when it's time for us to give, what is the feeling that we are putting onto the receiver that we are giving to? It's a sense that they can't keep up, and so we have to help them. Or it might not even be, a charity situation. It might be a friend, but like, oh, we're the ones in the relationship that is going to give, and so we are the better person. Now again, this is not conscious all the time. We don't go around saying that, well, I'm the better person in the relationship, so I'm going to give and I'm not going to receive. We don't say this consciously. But when people try to do things for us and we don't accept it, or we can't accept it, or it just feels gross or uncomfortable, that's what's happening. It's this sense of like, we don't want to feel one down. And so it's damaging to the relationship. It breaks trust. Because if everybody is giving and nobody is receiving in the relationship, there's no reciprocal anything going on. There's just this one up and one down, and this person is always giving and this person is always receiving, and that's not a relationship. That's not a healthy relationship. So if we can't receive well, then our giving is also out of selfish motives. It's a way to make ourselves feel better. It's a way to cover up, the sense of shame that's inside of us. And it breaks down the trust. And so some of the I think I'm going to leave these up here for the next 2 weeks. And if you can't see these, if you're on your smartphone, you can scroll in as I'm talking, and you can make it closer. But when we have accepted grace and mercy, when we've accepted that, we can give it back out. So if a person that is really critical all the time and condemning all the time, that's an indication that we have this tape recorder in our head. We're judging ourselves constantly. And therefore we are judging other people constantly. We're critical of ourselves and we're critical of other people. And so if we have unhealthy boundaries, if we're arrogant, defensive, fearful, bitter, unforgiving, unresolved grief, those are all damaging to the relationship, because you're not letting that other person in. You're not letting them love you. You're not letting them take care of you and care for you and provide comfort for you. And the ironic thing is that oftentimes people will say that or indicate rather, that they want love, they want relationship, they want this person to be close to them, they want this person to pay attention to them, to validate them. But then as soon as you come towards them to do some of those things, they put their hand up and they don't accept it, because there's this deep sense that they don't deserve it. And so there's this constant tug of war, like this push me, pull you, like validate me, have a relationship with me, talk to me. But then when you do, it's like they put their hand up and, lash out, or they make fun, or they say, oh, no, I'm good, I've got it, whatever. So what is your score on a scale of 1 to 10? How well do you receive love? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm always eager to hear what you guys have to say. And if you are following along in the journal, you can get this on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, and you can write down all of your thoughts in here as well. So have a good week. Next week we'll be talking about love in relationships. Take care. Bye.